and how to work in R. Okay, so first what we are going to do is we will just open RStudio, okay, without any, I mean, we won't go into our usual folder and the drive C, and we won't double click it. We just open RStudio, okay. So you just open your RStudio, okay. So actually, I mean, this environment will be a little bit different based on what you did the last time you opened your RStudio. Okay. Previously, what we have done is we created a R file, R script file, and then we double click that R script file. Okay. So the advantages of doing that is you don't have to change your directory, which you can look at here. Okay. So right now, my directory, this directory is called a default directory. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new R script. Okay. So I will go to File, and then I will say, okay, new file, R script. Okay. You can use the shortcut key, Control-Shift-N, or if you're using Mac OS, then you have to press Command-Shift-N. Okay. So just click it. So we got our R script, which is Untitled. Okay, which is Untitled. So before we do anything, let's save this R script. Okay, so click this one, or you press Control S. Okay. Okay. I hope you will see this pop-up box. Okay, dialog box to save our file. So basically, what we are going to do is we will go to the local drive C, okay, and save under the same folder, SSI_SWR, okay, and we will save with the name week 3 day 6, okay, week 3 day 6, and .r. .r is an extension, okay, extension telling our operating system, telling our computer system that it is an R file, okay, so that it will appear as R. And then you click save. Okay, so our file is saved under SSI_SWR folder and a drive C. Okay, but our directory is here. It is called a default directory. Okay, so today what we are going to do is we will look a little bit about the check find directory. Okay, it is called check find directories because it is important when you are working with your file, and then you want to import the data set. You need to know how you can manipulate the find directory. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about find directory is where you are, okay, where your current directory is. Okay, so we will say we want to get our current working directory. Okay, so there is a function in R which is a get WD. Okay, get WD is basically get working directory. Okay, so basically this is called a function that does not need argument, which means that you don't need to put anything to make it work. Okay, so you just run this and you will see this is our current directory. Okay, This is our current directory. So let's take a good look at this directory. Okay, let's copy this and let's look at this. So the current directory is NSC, which may be different, okay, in your computer. But what I'm trying to say is the current directory should be with a quote within the quotation mark, okay. And then if you notice here, it used the /, okay, whatever it is, okay, /, okay, it is not /, to to demarcate the folder. Okay, so this is how you should look at. If you're using Mac OS, it does not it does not give you a problem because the Apple operating system is based on the Unix system. So this will be consistent. But for Windows user, if you're using Windows like me, then you will have to consider, okay, where you are. Okay, so let's demonstrate. So this is how you assess check where your current directory is. Okay, so currently I am in my document folder. So I think this is the default folder for every Windows user, okay, unless you change it. And then a little bit about the file directory. This is called absolute pathway. Okay, so this is called an absolute pathway. And then we also have a related pathway. Okay, absolute pathway is you specify everything starting from the root drive, okay, drive C. And we can specify a related path as well. Okay, how do we specify it? If you look at the console here, you can see that console is pointing you tilde and slash. Okay, that is called the tilde and slash. That is called the related pathway. Okay, basically it is telling you that it is the default folder or the current directory. Okay, so this still indicate that the default directory. So till here represent or indicates the default folder RStudio or RStudio. Okay? So this is the default folder. Okay, so right now what we are going to do is I'm going to share you a link. Okay, I think we already have this this one previously, the patient data set. Okay, but right now we are not talking, we are not importing the data set directly from the website. Okay, what we are going to do is okay, we will go here and okay, we'll go to the browser and paste the link. Okay, this one. Okay, so I will share this link to the chat box. So you just copy it and try to do the same. Okay, so open your browser and then you just paste the link to the browser. Okay, and then when you click enter, you will get you'll get your data set downloaded. Okay, you'll get your data set downloaded. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to okay, if you're using Google Chrome, like my computer, you can look at the show in folder, or actually any browser can any browser has this feature. I think you can look at this file in your folder. Otherwise, you go to your folder anyway. Okay, so okay, let's go to the file explorer. Okay, let's go to the file explorer, and then I think you will have something as download, and for me I think it is under program. No, not program. I think this one. Okay, so you just look at your computer, because based on the computer and the program you install, it's a little bit different. Okay, but usually it will be on your download folder. Okay, so go to the download folder and locate this folder, locate this file, this data file. Okay, so up to now, what we have done is we always okay, what you cannot open. What do you mean you cannot open? Yeah. Don't open it yet. I'm not going. I'm not asking you to open it. I just want you to locate the file. Okay. You should not open this file. We will import this into R. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what you can move, or I will just simply copy this. Okay. And first, okay. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my document. Okay. I think if you're going to open your document, you will see something like R. Okay. And there should be a folder named R. Okay. Anyway, we will just paste here. Okay. And the document. Okay. And we are going to import this data set. Okay. Using the directory. So this is just a demonstration of using find directory. Okay. So anyway, when you should see in your, if you're using Windows computer, you should see something, this one. Okay, this is called the address file. Okay, I think on MacBook you also have the similar file pathway. So when you click, wait, okay, I think it is because we are on the document. Anyway, what we can do here is that you can directly find this file if we know the document. Okay. So let's go back to RStudio. So on RStudio, when you look at this file window, okay, file window, and when you drag down, you will see that that data set here. Okay, that data set we just paste, because it is already under document. Okay, if it is the default one. Anyway, we are going to use the absolute find pathway to get this data set. Okay, so there is the starter data set, so we need to read it. Okay, read patient data set from my document folder. Okay, so what are the comments to import the starter data set? Okay, the comment, the function is coming from Haven package. So we was write Haven and 2 colon. Okay, and then we will say read DTA. Okay, read underscore DTA, which is the function to import the data set. Okay, which we already done. Okay, Why do we do this? We do this because we do not have to load the library. Okay, we just want to use the function. Okay, so this is the this is the direct access to the function and a heaven package. Okay, anyway, okay, so next is we give it a bracket, and then we have to give the directory. Okay, so like I already said, every directory should be put within 2 quotation marks. Okay, so we say quotation. Okay, so we will use the absolute pathway, which is starting from our C. Okay, but actually you can just copy and paste. Okay, but I just want you to know how we can easily do this. Okay, so you just write C, capital C, with colon, and then give us / and then you can press tab key, okay, to call the directory. Okay, you don't have to type everything. Okay, so this is a trick that I want to show you. And then we need, the next folder is we need user, right? So scroll down, go to user, and select it, and press another tab, okay, tab key. And then this time you won't have you won't have the same directory as mine. Okay, so you have to use your own directory, whatever it is written on your console. Okay, so mine is saying this new, which is my folder, and then we say the next one is document. Okay, and then the next one we just select our data set. Okay, so scroll down. I think the data set is wrong here. Okay, if you have a long list of directory, what you can do is you can type the initial part of your name. Okay, so when you type patient, and it will filter out. Okay, it will filter out with the name, so you can just easily select this one. Okay, this is called the given the absolute pathway. Okay, it is the absolute pathway. Absolute pathway. So the problem with this, there is nothing wrong with it. Okay, there is nothing wrong with it, but the problem with this is it's a long sentence. Even so, I just put it on the document, right? So if you have any folder, nested folder along the way, then you will have a long character. So we don't usually want that. Okay, so you can run this. Okay, so it is working fine. There is an output. Okay, why there is an output? Because we haven't assigned it to the patient data set. Okay, okay, anyway, I think why don't we do this? Why don't we clear our workspace? Okay, our workspace. So you can run everything, and then okay, we can say patient data set. Okay, and then run it again. Okay, so we get patient data set. The same. It is basically the same as what we have done previously. Okay, so previously what we have done is we gave it a URL. Okay, website address. Right now we are importing our data set from our local computer, from our hard drive. Okay. Okay, the next one, we want to use the related pathway. Okay, what is the difference? Well, related pathway. So always remember, this related pathway, there are 2 types. Okay, 2 types. Generally 2 types. So you can use tilde sign, which is the first one. Okay, tilde sign, which indicates which is our default folder. Okay, so you have to know where your default folder is. If your patient data set, or if your data set is not under this default folder, then you cannot use this one. Okay, anyway we can just say, okay, heaven, because we will read the same data set. Okay, which is under document folder. Okay. In this case, my default folder is under document. Okay. The same as this one. So what I can basically do is I can specify tilde, okay, which indicate our default folder, which means that we are all by writing this, we are already under document. Okay. And then you give it a / and then press tab key. Okay, so this is already under document. Okay, so you can see that our data set is here. Okay, so patient. Okay, so the tilde sign just indicated, okay, we can write this as a shorthand. Okay, so that this this unnecessary part will reduce. Okay, so this tilde represent this document, this our default directory. Okay, tilde sign represent this one. Okay, so you can replace with the tilde sign and then give it a / and then you can write, you can specify our data set if the data set is under document. Okay, yeah, we can use this. We will come to that, okay, after this. So we will also give it a patient, and then we can run it. Okay, so that is, we are just assigning to the same name, so we only see this one, but it is overwritten. Okay, okay, if you are a little bit confusing, then what we can do is we can give it as a patient 1 or this one as a patient 2, and now we run it again. Okay, so patient 1 we use the absolute pathway, patient 2 we use the related pathway. Okay, so this is under document C, documents. Okay, so what if like someone else, what if our data set is not in the default directory? Okay, I will show you default directory. I think because our computer structure are a little bit different. Okay, so I think I will demonstrate it, but okay. Why don't you follow what we? Okay, why don't you follow my demonstration? Okay, so let's go to the this one. Okay, and okay, so we already have this data set. Okay, you can either copy this one or the original. The original one in our downloads one. Okay, so now we will go to drive C. Okay, and there is an exercise _ SWR folder, right? So we will put it here, our data set here. Okay, but in fact, we will put it, okay, just delete this. We will create a new folder. Okay, so right click and then create a new folder called data. Okay, this is a more systematic way to organize your file. Okay, otherwise it will be crowded here. Okay, anyway, we will create a new folder named data, and then we will go into the folder and then paste there. So you see our directory is not under document and default folder anymore. Okay, so what we will do is, this is the address bar. Okay, so we just give a click. Okay, and then you can copy this pathway. Okay, you can copy this pathway. This is the pathway to the data folder and our drive C. Okay, and then we will go back to the RStudio. Okay, RStudio, and then okay, we will say that heaven, and then read _ DTA. Okay, and then we will actually you can write it. Okay, our current directory is this one. Okay, which we have copied here. Okay, it is which we copy from Windows Explorer. Okay, but did you notice the slash? This is the backward slash. Okay, I have already said that we can only use forward slash. Okay, so that's why you either change this, okay, you either change this, or you can, I mean, you can copy paste here, and then you change your backward slash to forward slash. Okay, so this is how you do that. Okay, and then when you can, when you give a forward slash and then you press tab, there is only one file under that folder. Okay, so it is automatically will appear, or otherwise you just choose the file name. Okay, anyway, this is also the absolute pathway if it is not in the current directory. Okay, got it? Okay, so this is how you change the directory. I mean, not change the directory. This is how you assess the this is how you assess the data set directly, okay, by specifying a pathway. Okay, so this we was give it to patient 3, okay, and run this. We want to see if this one is if our directory is working or not. Okay, so we go patient 1 to 3. We choose different. I mean, this one also uses the absolute pathway. Okay, okay, so far this is what we have done. Okay, so far this is what we have done. But the problem is, if you are the only one who analyzes the data, then it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. But if you are working with a team, and if other people in your team also wants to run this analysis file, so I think this kind of specifying find directory is not effective. Okay, so we were trying our previous way of opening it. Okay, so what I will do is I will close this RStudio. Okay, and when you close the RStudio, it will say save workspace image to this one. Okay, so basically you say no. Okay, you say okay, I don't want to save. And then let's go back to our directory and the C drive. Okay, and the exercise underscore SWR folder. And then what we will do is we will double click the week 3 day 6, right? So this file it's already should already be there. So you just double click it, and it will open RStudio. Okay, so one of the reason is you can appreciate that as soon as you double click open this folder in our console, you can see that the directory is already changed. So you do not have to specify the absolute pathway. Okay, you can specify, but you don't have to. So I will show you the second type. Okay, second type of related pathway, which should be, which should be the ideal, the ideal way you should write your R script. Okay. Okay, the same thing, we will read the same data set. Okay. Here, this is the second type. We are already in our, we are already in a coded folder. Okay, coded folder. So, okay, we will say that, okay, this time, what is the second way is we indicate with dot. Okay, the dot indicate that there is the continuation of our current directory. Okay, our current directory. So this is not the default directory. Okay, if you specify tilde, that is the default directory. Okay, which indicates only one directory. Okay, only one default directory. But you can use dot for any directory. Okay, so So when you use dot, then it just say that, okay, this is where we are. And then we will continue specifying the pathway, okay? So I will say dot and then put a forward slash, okay? And then I press the tab key, and then you can see here that our directory already appear, okay? So our data set is in the data folder. So we choose data, and then we choose our data set. Okay, so this is the second way of using related pathway. So this is not an absolute pathway. We just say, we just make the shortcut and saying that this is the current directory we want to continue from here. So we will say, okay, dot forward slash, and then whatever we want to type. Okay, so this is the patient 4. And let's run this. Okay, always test your code, okay, before you move to the next line. Okay, so I will run everything again. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 working fine. Okay, the same data set, right? So it should be, everything should be the same. Okay, so any questions? I think this should clear that if the directory is not in a default directory, then you should be able to use this. Okay, so you can either use the address bar in Windows Explorer, copy paste it, but when you're using Windows, you have to change it this backward slash to the forward slash. Okay, otherwise it won't work. It will give you an error, okay, saying that this directory is not found. Okay, so this is how you change the directory and import your data set from your computer. Okay, we are not relying on the website anymore, because that is rarely the case, right? We normally have our data set in our computer, and then we want to import into R. So this is usually the case. Okay, any questions? Okay, if not, we will continue. Okay, so we will say that, okay, we will just clear the wall space again. Okay, because in our R script should run from top to bottom. Okay, you should not, when you are testing your code, you can, write starting parts, but it is always a good idea to run from top to bottom and see if there is an error. Okay, so we remove everything and import it again. Okay, this is equal to ls. Okay, and this is equal to ls. So which clear our wall space, and then we will import it again, but this time we will just say the import patient data set. Okay, not patient 4. Import patient data set, and then we will say that is this. Okay, so as you can see that when the data set is in our computer, a local computer, then it's really fast to read it. Okay, otherwise when you are reading from a website address, then it takes a little bit of time, depending on the file size and the connection speed. Okay, so it is always a good idea to download first and then import it. Okay, so for the data management, we finished two important parts. Okay, how to manipulate your pathway and how to import the data set. Okay, so we finished that. And again, as soon as you import data set, what you should do is check the data. Okay, check the data set. So we already know how to check the data using codebook. Okay. Okay, so this is how you check data using the codebook, but we haven't loaded the library yet. Okay, so we say, okay, yeah, we will load a package. We will load 2 packages, right? Amstrad, and then second package is Margaret R. Okay. I think at this point, all of you should have already install these packages. These packages should already be on your R software. Okay, so now our codebook works. Okay, so we have used this patient data set so many times, so we know that there are 25 observations. Okay, and we won't go into detail. Okay, so I will show you there are a few more. I mean, there are three functions to check data that you should know. Okay, to check data set. Okay, the first one is the SDR function. Okay, which is basically a structure. Okay, checking the structure. It is checking data structure. So for the codebook, you can only use for the data frame type. Okay, which is what we have here. But anyway, this is not important. I mean, this is not that important right now. But you can use it and look at the structure. Okay, so SDR means structure, abbreviation of structure, and then you put the data set. Okay, and then it gives you a little bit different. Okay, different format. So it gives you a lot of text and say here it is the class. Okay, the class of the data set. I mean the class of this object. Okay, this is a little bit into base R. So the reason I haven't talked about this until now is I don't want to confuse. Okay, so like in real world, R is also composed of objects. Okay, so everything in environment is called an object. Okay, so our patient is a data set, but to R see it as an object. Okay, so every object has classes like human. Okay, we have classes like lower class, middle, upper class, something like that. Okay, so anyway, the data set also have I mean this object also has classes. Okay, this one is called the table data frame and also table and data dot frame. Anyway, this is not important. Okay, if you want to learn R detail and if you want to look at the programming aspect more, then you should know this kind of data type. But right now, this provides the same thing. Okay, so we got 120 observation and 25 variables, and then it lists all variable and it say what is the data type. This is the CHR mean this is the character, and then state the initial 4 observation. Okay, and then say if there is any information related to that variable, it states. But to me, it's a little bit annoying. Okay, so that's why I didn't talk earlier. But you should know, because anytime you check the RStudio, I mean tutorial, basic R tutorial, they will tell you about this. Okay, but for you, I think for a beginner, it's a little bit difficult. I think time is almost up. Okay, if the meeting stop suddenly, then you just rejoin the meeting. Okay. Okay, so this is. So I guess the reason I download Amstep package is so that, I mean, actually it limits the flexibility and the power of our software. But for a beginner or for someone who doesn't care about the programming and all these stuff, and then using Amstep package is quite easy and quite intuitive to follow. Okay, so this is the first function. Okay, and then you should also look at is I mean, when you are buying, say, let's give you an example. Let's look at an example. If you're using if you are buying something, okay, to give someone as a gift, then you look at the object very carefully, okay. So we look at the health, we look at the still, and see if anything is broken or not. So like here, we should check is heads, okay. Head mean the upper part, okay, upper part of the data set, and tail mean the lower part of the data set. Okay, so basically you say had, which will print out, okay, which will print out the upper part of, I think, around 6 lines, 6 to 8 lines. Okay, so you say had patient, which gives you like this, okay, 6 line, the first 6 line. But anyway, I don't think this is quite useful. If you want to look at the data set, then you just click here, okay, and then inspect our data set visually. Okay, this is a much more practical way rather than this printing is output. You can manipulate here more free. I mean, this is a lot more flexible than this one. Okay, you can just see this. You cannot change anything or even filter anything. So let us zoom this one. Okay, so here this is like an Excel data set. So you can filter. Okay, you can filter, and you can look at this data set many ways. Okay, and you can also find the find here. Okay, something like, okay, we want to look at only the result of UCSF. Okay, so you just type UCSF, and then this will already be filtered. Okay, so you can see it is already selected. And say if you only want female, and then you just type the female here. Okay, so only the female will be selected in this data set. So it's a lot more. It's a very versatile, very quick look program inside RStudio. Okay, so anyway, I think this is a more versatile feature than this head or tail. But anyway, this is what most RStudio, I mean, our basic art tutorial will teach you. Okay, anybody, if you attend such art courses, then they will teach you this. Okay, so anyway, that is what you should know. At least it is not difficult, right? So tail mean it will just look at the lower part, okay, from the last observation. Okay, and then let us go into the data management. Okay, then we will use data management using MSTEP package. Okay, so for let's list what we have learned. Okay, list what we have learned. I think we already learned replace, and you know how to use generate, right? I think you also know how to use filter. Okay, so these are these are a few of several functions to manage data. Okay, so let us go through one by one. First, if you look at carefully on how you manage your data, there will be actually there will be 2 levels. Okay, the first one is on a dataset level, and then you manage your data. Okay, manage data. Okay, how do we manage data on dataset level? Okay, so like the first function is to remove or to keep or remove variables, okay, that we don't need. Okay, it is a very common phenomenon. Like say in your data set you have 100 variable and you only need 10 variable. Okay, so what will you do? You will remove all variable that you don't need, right? So that is managing the data at the data set level. Okay, So we are not going into detail. We just look at the heading and okay, we don't want this, we don't want that. So, okay, so how do we do that? Okay, so there are two functions. Okay, you either keep or you either, I think not remove, drop. Okay, drop, the same as remove. Okay, so you either keep variable or you drop variable from the data set. Okay, so let's start with the keep. Okay, so from this point on, we will use piping generously. Okay, we will use piping. So we will put our patient data set because we will demonstrate the power of, we will demonstrate you how to use these function, but we won't change to our data set yet. Okay, we will see how it can be changed, and then we will look at the code book. Okay, okay, you will become clear when we do it. Okay, so we will put patient into the piping, and then we will say code book. Okay, so you can when we use the piping, we don't need to specify the data set. Okay, so we can just run it. So this is basically the same as this one. Okay, same as this one, but we use piping. Okay, we just put our data set to the code book, and you don't even need to put this parentheses. Okay, you can just run it. Okay, it will work. So say we have 25 observation. Okay, okay, that's we want to keep it very small. Okay, so we want to keep it age to sex. Okay, age to sex, and then we want to keep it WBC to test 2. Okay, that is what we want to keep. So we want to keep age to sex, and then WBC to test 2. Okay, the rest of the variable we will remove it. Okay, so we will keep so in this case, we can use the colon separator to indicate the range. Okay, I think we already discussed this. Okay, so we will keep age to sex. Okay, which is a range. So we will say age to sex, and then comma, and then we will say WBC to test 2. Okay, WBC 2, which give a colon and then test 2. Okay, and then we will give it a piping. Okay, so first we put our patient data set into key function, and then we choose this variable, and then we put the result to COBOL. Okay, so when we run this command, we will see only these variable. Okay, in our COBOL. Okay, so right now you can see that okay, our COBOL. Okay, what is the data set name? It is the dot. Okay, if you remember, when we use piping, if you have to specify data, then we can put dot, right? You remember, if you remember that one. Okay, so this is how we subset. This is also called a subset in data. Okay, subset in data. It is the same one. So in mathematics, there is a set theory, right? So we consider data frame as data set as a set, and then we want to look at a small part of that big one. So it is a subset. Okay, so we make a sub data set with age to test 2. Okay, only 10 variable. So this is how you do it. So how do we use keep and drop? Okay, so whichever, we have 25 variable, whichever you have to write less, you use it. Okay, if the variable you want to keep is small, then you use keep. Okay, if it is larger, if the number of variable you want to keep in the data set is larger, then you don't have to write it. Okay, you just drop some variable. Okay, next we will drop variable. Okay, same, we say patient and put it in the piping, And then we will remove, what do we remove? Right. Okay. Okay, for the demonstration, we remove CO2, lung capacity, and length of stay. Okay, so we will remove CO2, lung capacity, and length of stay. Okay, so how do we do? We will drop. Okay, so actually when you use drop, you have to use this one. Okay, step one. And then you just specify what you want to remove. Okay, here we can also okay, so this one is one of the advantages of using using piping. Okay, so you can already see the variable name here, and then you can choose it. Okay, you don't have to write everything. So this one will, I mean, this one can help us avoid spelling error. Okay, anyway, if you have spelling error, then you have the you will have an error. Okay. Okay, anyway, so we have 3 variable drop, okay, from the data set. And then we have 22 variable in our data set. So this is how you do it, okay? Okay, so if you want to keep only that one, okay, how do you do that? If you want to only keep this one and create another data set, okay? So you have to assign it. So you say, okay, patient 1, and then you assign it, okay? Assign it back to a name. Okay, so you can use the same this patient or a new name to make changes permanent. Okay, so this is how you do it, but you cannot keep it code book. Okay, code book is not a data set. We just want to display what is there. Okay, so you should not include the code book line here. Okay, you should end with the keep one. Okay. Okay, so we assign it to patient 1. Now we have the same observation but done variable now. Okay, so this is how you subset your data. Okay, so any questions at this point using this keep and drop? So anyway, if you, I mean, you already have the MStat guidebook, right? So I mean, these are already written there, so you can read the book too. Okay, and second thing, okay, arrange our variable. I mean, order. Okay, order our variable. Okay, so let's take a look at codebook. Okay, so you can see that we have the order 1 to 25. Okay, what if we want to look at these 14 to test 2? Okay, first. Okay, so we want to arrange. We want to arrange or say order our variable like this. Okay, so we was first hospital, and then hospital ID, hosp ID, and doc ID. Okay, and then we want age to test 2. Okay, want age to test 2, and only after that we want this state to lung capacity. Okay, so we want to change the order of the variable. This state to, anyway, this state to lung capacity. Okay. Okay, so we can use keep to order this. Okay, so we don't need a new function. We can just use keep. So keep, the function keep can be used 2 things. Okay, you can arrange the order, or you can just remove the order. remove the variable. Okay, so we say patient, and then we give it a piping, and then push forward, and then say keep. Okay, how do we keep? We say hospital. Okay, so this is really nice for uh, this automatic variable suggestion is nice. Anyway, and DOC ID. Okay, so you can just write quickly, and then from age to that's 2. Okay, that's 2, and then from this date, okay, this date to, okay, 2 should be semicolon, and then lamp capacity. Okay, and then we give it a piping. Okay, and then we want to print out the code book. So you can see that our order has been changed. Okay, so this is how powerful the how powerful Amstar package if you can use it correctly. Okay. Okay, next you already noticed, okay, filter. I think we'll just quickly do this, okay? So how to use filter? You give it a condition, okay? So filter is you know, a subsetting of observation, or we can say subsetting row, okay? For the keep and drop, these two functions are to subset the column, okay? To subset the column. And filter is to subset the row, so we can have less row, okay? Say here that we only want female, okay? So we say that, okay, we will filter if sex is equal to female, okay? And then we will look at the code book. Okay, so you see our observation has been 74. Okay, previously we have 120 observation. Okay, so we make it less. Okay, so you have to remember keep or drop is subsetting columns or variable. Okay, and filter is subsetting rows or variable. Sorry, observation. Okay, so this is how you use filter. I think you can look at the guidebook, and there are I think there are a few more examples how to use these. Okay. Okay. So if you want to arrange the variable, then you can use keep. Okay. You don't have to. You don't need a separate. You don't need a separate function. Okay. But how do we arrange observation? Okay. So say we want to arrange, okay, let's look at this one, okay? Let's look at this patient data set. Actually, okay, so this is not arranging by some variable, okay? It is like the original arrangement. But we want to look at the data based on the ascending order of age, okay? So how do we order this one, okay? How do we arrange the row, okay? How do we arrange rows? Okay, so we will use the function for arrange, okay? So we give our data set to the piping, and then we say arrange, okay? And then we want to arrange by age, okay? So we say this, and then what do we want is we want to view it, okay? Automatically view it, okay? We don't want to save it, okay? We are just demonstrating how to use function. So we won't save it to assign it to another data set. We just want to view it. So we will use view, okay? So you see our observation, 120 observation has been arranged. So when I zoom this, okay, you can see our age has been arranged. Okay, 34, 35, 37, and then it is going from ascending and descending. Okay. Okay, let's go back. This is, if you just specify it, it is just ascending order. Okay, it is ascending order. What if we want descending order? Okay. So you just put minus in front of it. Okay. So copy this, and then this is the descending. So we just put a minus symbol. Okay, this is a minus symbol, and then we will run this and see the age. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to expand it. So you will see our 357 observation has been the first row. Okay, so this is ascending, sorry, this is descending order. Okay. Okay, this is only one variable. So you can use, you can use several other multiple variable at the same time. Okay. What if we want to arrange multiple variables? Okay. So patients, then arrange, you just specify as usual. Okay, so first we want to arrange by sex. Okay, which is not a numerical, which is a character. So I just want to give you an idea how it works. Okay, and then we will first arrange the alphabetical order. Okay, sex is male and female, which is a text, so it will arrange alphabetical order A to Z. Okay. If you want to order Z to A, Z to A, then you give a minus, okay? But we want to arrange from A to Z, alphabetical order, and then we want to arrange the descending order of age. Okay, so you just do this. Okay, you can just put many variables as you want. Okay, and then you save view. Okay, you save view. So if we look at the data set, okay, first we want to arrange alphabetically. Okay, so we got this one. So we got female and we got male. Okay, so F come first, so that's why we see F first. Okay, of course we will see number first in the alphabetical order. And then in this way, in this group, okay, we see you see 100 and okay, if sex is 12.2, then we have only one observation. Okay, so no order. If we have in the female group, we start with the highest number and then it descend. Okay, descend in order. So this is how you do it. Okay, so this is like the managing data at the data set level. Okay, so you can drop your variable that is called subsetting column or subsetting variable, and then you can filter, which is basically subsetting rows or observation. Okay, and then you can arrange the observation based on the criteria. Okay, criteria either it is ascending or descending, and then okay, what next? And then we will move to the individual observation. Okay, individual variable. So any question at this point? So what do you think about this data management? Do you think it is useful? Because our course is about statistics with R. It is okay if you don't want to, look at the data management part. Okay, we can just go to logistic regression tomorrow. But it is up to you. Okay. Okay, anyway, just let me know, okay? Okay, so based on your response, then okay, so tomorrow we will continue this, okay? there are a few more functions that I mean at the data set, so you can use generate function, replace function, okay, and then how do you recode it, how do you there are a few more vocabulary, okay. So I will just show you the book. I'm not sure whether you have. Okay, the question is, can you show how to compare two variables from two separate data sets? Okay. What do you mean compare? Compare two variables. What do you mean by that? Because we already looked at this one, okay? This is a pair. This is a pair t-test. So do you mean by that, or what do you mean compare by variable, two variable? Okay, anyway, meanwhile, you can just clarify to me, okay? Okay, so let's look at this. So we have a few more, I mean, we have a few more functions that we can discuss tomorrow. So you already know how to use generate, okay? This is how you use generate, and replace, and this is, we have already looked at this replace one, okay? And there is a standard function to generate, okay, which is a very handy tool. Like if you already use data and if you use EGen, then you will appreciate this comment, okay? Yes, please do that, okay? Okay, so, and you can also recode, okay? Recode. Recode is also give you the same result where replace, but I mean, we can discuss when we use replace and when we use recode, okay? So you can recode values very quickly, okay? So if you have a lot of value for a category, then you can recode them quickly like this, okay? So anyway, and then you can rename the variable, okay? If you have one variable, I mean, if you have variable and the name is not that, if you have to replace the name, then you can rename it, okay? So we can do it with a, I mean, we can rename it one by one, or we can rename it several variables at a time. And then we will tell you how to add label to the variable, okay? So that our code book will display nicely. And then how, and I mean, you already noticed, okay, how we can select rows by observe condition, which we use filter and keep. And then how we can find duplicates observation, okay, using the duplicates command, duplicates function. And how we deal with dates, okay? So if your dates variable is only showing numbers, how will you do it, okay? And then how will you convert the variable to dates type? And the last one, I think this one is also important, I mean useful, how to create lag variable, okay, which is very important if you are subtracting two dates, okay? So anyway, we will talk about that tomorrow. I mean, if time permits, okay? And then, I mean, we already talked about descriptive statistics, linear, and then tabulate, regression, estimate, okay? And after this course, if you want to discuss, I mean, this epidemiological calculation, odds ratio, risk ratio, and risk difference, attributable risks, population attributable risks, efficacy, and how to use Manter-Hazen methods, okay, to control confounding variables using M-step packages. So we can just quickly take a look, and we can look at the odds ratio and 95% CI and p-value, okay? So probably after the course, maybe we can discuss this if you are interested. And but anyway, you already have this guide, so you can just follow this guide, and I think it is also sufficient, okay? And there is a handy function to create data set from table, 2 by 2 table. So when you are reading a manuscript or an article, when you are reading an article, you will see 2 by 2 table, okay, in an article. And you want to calculate the odds ratio and compare the result back to the article, then you can create this data set based on the 2 by 2 table. Okay, so this is how you do it. This is how you do that. And I think the last one, okay, yeah. So I think there are a lot of useful functions for data management as well as data analysis. Okay, and also I am developing new functions, continuously developing new functions, and I will release more version in the future. So I hope you will stay tuned for future version. Okay, anyway, if you do you have any questions? If not, we will stop today's lesson here, okay?